Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a little bit about my last week in games. It's gonna be another short one because Belgium is still hit by a pretty serious heat wave. That means I didn't have that much energy to play games, but I did manage to play a little bit of EVE Online, probably a touch less than average, but not by too much. And a big part of it has been that I joined the X47 fight with all the Titans. It was definitely a mixed experience to say the least. So I tried to grab footage from there and I got a couple of really nice clips from the fight, but all of those were interrupted by client crashes, which, then it took me like half an hour to get back in on the server, to get back on local. Now you had to do the warp back to the keep star, had to reload the grid, and I think I tried to do that 4 or 5 times before it became really too late for me to keep going. So while the fight itself was very impressive and very cool, it was again a tie-dye slugfest that especially if you wanted to try and enjoy it a little bit at higher graphic settings, was almost impossible to stay in. So yeah, definitely still something to look into when it comes to the performance there. Of course, we are talking almost 4,000 people duking it out in a single system, something that no other game can manage, just the largest scale in gaming that you can imagine. So yeah, if you do go potato mode, then disable everything else as much as possible. I think it would have been possible to stay on grid and to keep going, but my goal was to try and get some nice footage, and unfortunately that also meant, because of the higher graphical demands, that the client just couldn't cope with it. So pretty interesting fight nonetheless, and it looks to me like the Imperium is slowly grinding up the upper hand because of their economic power, and that they're now willing to basically risk their super fleet as long as they trade one-on-one. It eventually will mean victory for them. Next to that, I also did a little bit of exploration and a couple of abyss sites. Nothing too special in the drops. I think I got one medium drop from a 3 out of 10. Where there were two faction pieces that were like 20+ million or something like that. And next to that, PI BPCs. I did do 2 runs of BPCs last week because the sales were going decently well when it comes to the components of structures. The structure BPCs themselves, though, those are dropping quite quickly. They are not worth as much as I would like them to be. Still, we've been selling those for quite a while, and so we have made a decent amount of ISK from those as well. I'm looking forward to what's coming next in EVE Online, but I must also be honest, there is an expansion coming from the World of Warcraft. So the plans that I'm making at the moment, and I'm actually making plans at the moment for EVE Online, but the timing of that will be after the summer, after I've played some Battle for Azeroth. Which brings me to the other game, of course, the World of Warcraft. Still played that every single day, but haven't really done much more than do those daily quests, try to grab a couple of better pieces of gear than what I have at the moment. Really an awesome catch-up mechanic if you want to get back into the World of Warcraft for the Battle for Azeroth. I do highly recommend jumping in right now, because you can go to Darkshore very quickly. You can unlock some daily quests, and those drop 210 gear, sometimes 220, sometimes even 240. I have 240 boots that dropped from one of those daily quests. I now have better weapons than my my weapon from Legion, and overall it does feel like I still managed to upgrade my character, even though I played him pretty intensively and decked him out with some decent PvP gear from normal battlegrounds. So yeah, it's a nice catch-up mechanic, and it would allow you to do a boost right now, and you still have a couple of weeks. It'll definitely give you a nice leg up when the expansion actually hits on August 14th, and for me that is something that I am looking forward to. Playing as the Horde, there's quite a bit of controversy around Sylvanas' choice to burn down the World Tree, but then I thought it was pretty funny how it is described that that caused a lot of rage amongst the not so loyal Horde players, and probably quite some money went to faction changes, and then they dropped the old soldier cinematic where everyone fell in love again with the Horde, and so they all came back. Very nice monetary decision there from Blizzard, although I do think that basically they're gonna try and tell the story about everything that's happening here with, well, Sylvanas is pretty harsh choice indeed to burn down a tree full of civilians there, but we'll see how all of that works out, and how all of that plays out in the expansion, which I am looking forward to. And as I've said, I'm going to probably play that decently intensively. There's a couple of real life friends that are coming back as well, and we are going to try to do some dungeoning and things like that to focus on small group content, but definitely to play decently hardcore for my doing. We'll see how much of that I can combine with EVE Online. I'm definitely still planning to play EVE Online every single day, come back at least for my PI, my BBCs, keep everything fueled, keep everything checked for war decks and things like that. Do some exploration as well from time to time to try to make a little bit of ISK, but the main focus will be on experiencing the new expansion for World of Warcraft. And that was all that I managed last week, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.